Hello.
We have a big packed show for today. Obviously, it's the last show before the major, so we've got a bunch of major preview that will come later with guest of the show, AN1MO. He'll be joining us after we do the intro bit thing. But before we wanted to get into the main piece of today, we wanted to take a second and talk about Counter-Strike, which is weird for us talking about in the intro bit, but there's so much to talk about. The RMRs have ended. Teams have left, and we already see the beginning of roster moves starting, and the major has not started. So, let's talk about the two big ones, BetBoom and Falcons. I think let's start with BetBoom.
Which sounds like quite diminishing towards Falcons, but actually it's quite generous towards Falcons to lump them in with BetBoom.
Yeah. So BetBoom, where did they place? They placed 8th place. Yeah. Which means that they were one game out. They played that 7th place game to get into the major, and they lost to Gamer Legion. Yeah. So they were on the cusp of making the major, and since that point, they have now benched Nafany and Chiron.
Basically, they were as good as NIP in the other group, and that's not good enough for BetBoom. So, make of that what you will, NIP.
No comments. With that in the RMRB A, that was an A. Yeah,
that was
an A. So they were probably, if you and I had ranked ahead of time, they probably would have been the 7th team.
Yeah, I think I basically said BetBoom are simultaneously terrible and really good, and they'll finish somewhere in the middle. They could finish top 7. They could finish outside, and neither would surprise me.
I think if there wasn't the Cloud9 whatever happened.
Yeah, Cloud9 were the only wrinkle in that group, really.
Yeah, BetBoom would have been in the fight for that last spot, probably with
well,
Saw
they were in the fight for the last spot.
They literally were in the fight, but with Saw and BetBoom and Sinners, would have been where we had expected.
They've benched both Chiron and Nafany. Which is
the Nafany one's interesting because that's saying that you don't like the way your team is captained, not just the way that your team is playing. Right? If you bench a star player, you bench an all person like that. That's kind of that's one thing. But you're benching the IGL who has the system around this team.
That I think calling what Nafany does a system is very generous towards Nafany. I don't think it's a coincidence that both teams we've seen him in game lead at the top level have been woefully inconsistent with a lot of talent. As much as I like Nafany, and I do like Nafany, and I think he's done well to progress some players' careers, I think as an IGL he lacks a little bit of brain.
That's not where I was going to go. I was going to say...
lacks a little bit of brain.
I don't even know where I was going to say.
Guile. Right. He lacks a little bit of guile, is what he lacks.
I was going to say polish, but I guess that works too.
The problem is he sees every solution as needing a hammer, when sometimes you need a screwdriver.
All right, let's double back now. Falcons is the other team that made big roster moves.
Yeah, to nobody's surprise.
I was going to say, if you remember, Falcons' team going into the major was Magisk, Simple, Snappy, Madden, and Dupree. It's now just Dupree. Now,
Magisk. It's now just Magisk.
It's now just Magisk. Sorry, I will note a couple of things here. Snappy, Madden, and Dupree have all been benched by the organization. This does not come as a surprise about Dupree. I kind of just expected that. To us, we've talked about it before. I don't think it comes as a surprise for Snappy either.
No, I think he'll land on his feet, though.
Yeah, it felt like kind of a mismatch. And the Madden doesn't totally not make sense, I think is the way I'll put it.
Doesn't totally not make sense. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fair.
I
had to reason it out in my head, but yes.
I don't know if it would have been a thing I bet on, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
And then Simple did not get benched, but has said that he will not be continuing with this team.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, it's just great for him to just go, I'm not playing for that lot. Don't even know who's on the team, not playing for him. Not interested.
So now that we're here, Falcons only has 9 major trophies now.
Yeah.
They have 1 player left and 1 coach, and they have 9 major trophies.
Yeah, and no major spot.
We know Nico's going to this team. That's all we know.
Yimfat apparently as well.
I was gonna say the rumors are Yimfat.
Rumors about Monacy as well. I don't know how serious they are, but there's rumors about Monacy.
If my name is G2, I'm not serious at all about that.
If my name is G2, I might have to cash in if he's only got 6 months left of his contract.
All right. When we get back from the intro, you will hear us talking with AN1MO about about the starts of the major. All right, welcome AN1MO to the podcast.
Hello.
That's the most awkward introduction I've done for anyone on this podcast.
Well, I kind of didn't know what was happening either. I feel like maybe we should have spoke about that, but yeah.
Should we redo it? Let's do a redo. Go on.
Yeah. Give me some warmth.
We're not going to cut this out.
No, we're not going to cut this out. We're going to leave this right here.
Do it again.
Welcome AN1MO to the podcast.
Hello. There we go. Energy. Nice.
Welcome AN1MO from his holding cell in Afghanistan, where he's clearly recording from.
Look, it wasn't this bad the last time we did a podcast, bro. Like, maybe it was.
He was here during the intro, just sitting off to the side, and I could Elliot's kind of in the dark, and I'm like vaguely-ish in the dark, and I'm getting flashbanged.
Yeah.
Sam.
Do you know what the crazy part is? It's not that fucking bright in here. Like,
no, I have 2 lights on me. And I still think that you are the biggest light source right now.
Yeah.
It's excellent. I'm here
sorry.
for it. I'm so here for it. No. Do not be sorry. This show is not about being sorry.
it will be.
It's in fact about making fun of teams for doing stupid shit like NIP. All right. Let's talk about the important stuff here. The major starts in a couple of days from release. It will from the release of this podcast. Will start on Saturday. U.S. time. I think it starts on Sunday for you guys.
It's like Saturday night or something. I'm not sure. Hang on.
I think technically Sunday though, right?
No. It's Saturday morning for us.
Oh, so it's Saturday morning. Yeah. Yeah, because it's the 30th, isn't it?
Oh yeah, See, the event says the 30th for me, which is Saturday. But then when I click on matches, it goes no Friday night at 8 p.m. God, I love esports events in China.
Yeah, I mean, like, I understand it's like, oh yeah, this is their one event that they actually get at the sort of reasonable time for them, and it's like, and I get that. But also,
I understand it.
You know, Riot don't put Worlds at a time that's bad for China. So why are Valve putting majors at a time that's bad for Europe? They didn't for a long time. They might have done. They might have changed it recently.
Well,
I remember there was
a 3 years ago.
Yeah, but I think the times were actually changed to suit China, even though it was in LA.
It may have been.
I seem to remember. And it's like, your main audience is European. Let's not mess around. And I get it, but like, I like being pampered, is what I'm saying. And I think I deserve it.
Can I ask a question?
No.
Has it affected... Oh, fuck, I won't do it then. But, in all seriousness, has it affected how much you care about this major?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. I just wanted to know we were all on the same page with that.
Because I'm not sure if you were expecting yes or no there.
I get to watch like one game a day.
You get to
sometimes half a game a day.
You watch
I didn't know if you were then like getting to watch like, highlights or something.
It'll probably have to be highlights because so the first best of one start for me at 10 p.m. So I'll be able to watch the first best of one. Because I'm in bed by 11 normally. I'm an old man. Like,
yeah,
so I can watch one match.
I would much prefer that.
Yeah. I wake up at 9 a.m. and watch whatever's left, which is usually like one game.
Well, like for us with the opening round, it's 3 a.m. start, and the last one's scheduled to... Like, the last game of the opening round is scheduled to start 6 a.m. So by the time me and you wake up, all of those games should be done. Like, miserable.
How is your last one at 6 a.m.? It should be at 10 a.m.
Of the first round, he means.
Of the first round. Okay. I was like, no, the last one's scheduled for 5 a.m. my time.
I don't get to watch any games until it's like... Until half the teams are 1-1 and like there's like one game left for 1-0 teams.
By the time I get to watch games, teams will already be 0-2.
Yeah, which is kind of similar to me. Like, it does make it a lot harder to follow. As I say, like, I've watched there's still teams I haven't actually watched this major. I haven't watched a single big game.
Oh, I watched
If you've
one.
watched one big game, haven't you watched all big games?
Well, yeah, fine, but you know what I mean. I haven't watched Fnatic play. I don't think.
No, but I tried to avoid that.
Well, I try and avoid Fnatic as well, but like, if
These
they were
sound
the only game on, or like if there was a Fnatic game on, I'd watch it. But there's never a Fnatic game on when I'm able to watch because I get to watch one game a day.
This sounds like you have a solution. You're trying to come up with a problem for it.
Is the solution wake up at 3 a.m.?
No, the solution is watching Fnatic games, and you're trying to figure out how you can make it a problem that you don't get to watch Fnatic games.
It's not that it's a problem. It's just like I can't accurately judge some teams because I'm not able to actually watch them. I haven't watched Virtus Pro yet. I have no idea if Virtus Pro are actually good or if they just sort of fluked their way to a 3-1.
I'm going to assume the answer is fluke, but...
Well, I'm going to assume the answer is that they're still, like, the 10th best team in the world, but they've completely lost their ceiling ever since they signed Electronic because they changed style and now they're just boring. And now they're not even boring, so they don't actually win any games. They could beat big teams by, like, just out-grinding them. And they can't do that now because they just play like everyone else, but a bit worse. It's really sad.
And Electronic.
I would say this all the time. Well, Electronic's also bad now and still thinks he's good. Crim's had this for a while where like Crim still played like he was good even as he was getting worse, and it really like hampered Fnatic for a while. He's now figured out that he's not that good anymore, and now he's like quite useful. Electronic's still got ego.
All right, let's start. We have many teams here in the opening stage. I want to pull up the major simulators. That way I am on the same page. And let's begin. So,
Astralis win their first game.
Astralis will win their first game.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, hold on. Let's talk about Astralis for a second? Because so they didn't make the major, and I don't really care about that. But apparently, ESIC are releasing today about this week about the Bro investigation.
I will believe it when I see it.
As if it hasn't been a month and a fucking half since the thing happened to begin with.
If he was ill, he has recovered by now. So what's the point?
Hey, Brovid has taken its toll.
Hey, he's got long Brovid. I mean, like, literally, if he was ill and they were telling the truth, you can't tell people a month later, oh, he's actually not ill. They're just go like, well, he was at the time. Like, of course he's not anymore.
I still, like, just don't get why they even bothered. Like, because Blast got them to do that, right? Like, why? They pulled your pants down. They made you look stupid. Like, what are you gaining?
These are great questions.
Yeah, you could have just waited.
I don't know. All right, but they're not at the major. Let's talk about round one. Let's do it this way. We're gonna go through match by match. We'll determine a winner or a loser, and let's talk about where we expect each team in each match to end up when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
I guess it's a good point as any to say that Sam will be on through all of our major coverage, so he'll be able to determine picks with us across the board.
Yeah.
And you don't just hear his bad takes now, you'll hear it the entire time.
Exactly.
Hang on, my takes are fantastic.
See, that's what I said, but I've been told my takes are bad, so I'm not allowed to tell if anyone else's takes are good.
Well, just stick by your bad takes until they become good takes. That's how Elliot's made a name for himself.
I did that with Marcus Rashford. I said Marcus Rashford was bad when he was 18. It's taken 8 years, but I'm right.
Problem is my most recent good take has been Alter Ego is good, and we saw how well that turned out.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't actually think they were good. We just thought they were fun.
Yeah. All right.
Which team was Alter Ego?
Opening match.
Exactly. It's BN Tet. BN
Oh,
Tet and the Soldiers of Asia.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a garbage take, mate.
They're fun. They're really fun. We really wanted them to do well, but it was like so obvious they were going to go out, unfortunately.
They are fun. Anyway, isn't there a match we were going to talk about? Sorry.
Yes, let's talk about Furia Gamer Legion. Furia are, I believe, the #1 America seed. Gamer Legion,
Wrongfully, but yeah, it's probably
the number like last seed.
The number last.
The number last European seed.
That's the North American education system.
Yes, sir.
For everyone on display. The number last.
There's
16
last.
teams. I think 14 European. But then, actually, this is difficult. I'm mod.
They're either the 13th or 14th seed from Europe.
Something like that. No.
They were 7th in their RMR. There's 14 total European teams. They are the 13th, 14th seed.
Yeah.
I'm scared for Furia here.
I refuse to believe anyone can predict this game with any level of confidence.
I'm going to. Gamer Legion will
Excellent,
crash and burn
please.
in that game. Because
Crash
they were
and
on
burn,
they were on such a high coming out of their RMR that they will crash and burn in that game. The rest of their games, they'll probably be quite competitive. Don't really know how they'll end up, but I think that game in particular will be like 13-4, 13-5, something like that.
Okay, I have an edit. Furia was the last place team from the Americas RMR.
I was going to say, they did go 3-2, didn't they? I thought they were just the highest ranked.
They are the highest ranked team from Valve ranking.
Yeah, that's what I thought. The problem is, it's okay to say Gamer Legion are going to lose 13-4. That bit I'm okay with. It's more saying that Furia are going to win 13-4 that I have an issue with. Because I never trust Furia in any positive or negative way. Like,
I don't know how to trust this Furia team. Who just went 3-2 at the RMR.
Yeah.
Like who did they play? They lost to Legacy. I guess they lost to Legacy and Liquid, and they kind of took care of business out of everyone else. But they did lose to Legacy.
Yeah.
Which
it doesn't fill you with confidence. I think I'm never confident about Furia anyway. And then this game is just like, it's just so obviously a difficult game for both of them. Because I don't think Furia are just hard to prep for generally. And Gamer Legion are a bit of an underdog where like Furia probably feel like they're expected to win, but it's actually kind of a 50-50 game. So it's quite high pressure for them. Where like their fans will not be happy if they lose. I mean, obviously, but like their fans will really think they've been upset if they lose when that's not really true.
I do think though, like, I think when it's the first game of the day and only Volt has played at a major before on that Gamer Legion team, after what they've had, like, I think the experience of Furia will come up big for them in that game in particular. I don't think if they were the last game of the round, I'm not sure it would matter as much, because maybe those Gamer Legion boys are sat there and they actually get used to the feeling of it and they feel better by the end of it. But it's their first major game. Like, it's going to be an entirely different stress to the RMR.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not. I just don't feel. I never feel confident in saying Furia are going to win this game, so I just don't like doing it ever.
I think Furia will win. That's the extent of the take, because I don't think I can accurately or inaccurately predict anything more. I could say this is a 13-0 Gamer Legion stomp, and I think that's as accurate as Sam saying a 13-4 Furia win.
I think it might be the lowest quality game of the round. And I think some of that will come down to the fact... I think, because I think, as you say, Gamer Legion will be nervous. Gamer Legion will be nervous, and I think they'll make mistakes. And Furia have never played a game without making multiple mistakes.
Complexity play FlyQuest.
Yeah, but there'll only be, 14 rounds of that, so there won't be enough time for there to be as many mistakes. This game's going to be... Furia Gamer Legion is going to be 30 rounds, and it's going to be awful.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think it's going to be really low quality. I really do. I think both of them... Gamer Legion will come in nervous. Furia are scrappy anyway. I think it'll be a really scrappy, ugly game of Counter-Strike.
I'm moving past this. This game's so shit. I don't care.
Speaking of low quality games.
Yes, really. MIBR against Virtus Pro. So...
Can I say I don't care?
Can we just move on? Can
I just say I don't care?
Does this have actual repercussions?
One of these teams will go 3-2, the other will go 2-3, and I don't really care which is which. It's probably Virtus Pro 3-2, because they're actually... James quite good now again, apparently.
Can we just move on?
Unfortunately.
Do you have anything you need to say about this, Sam?
I would say MIBR win and leave it at that.
Okay. Really?
This game is probably worse quality than Furia Gamer Legion.
No. Safe is just a bad game, but at least they try and play the game properly.
I think there's going to be MIBR trying to be absolute psychopaths and VP trying to be absolute psychopaths, but in two diametrically opposed psychopathic ways.
Yeah, that's fair, I think. Like, it's kind of insanity running into a wall over and over again, but to be fair, he's got quite a hard head.
So have you tested
This is a game I'm...
It's a feeling.
Okay.
Let's talk about the next game here. Liquid Cloud9.
An all-NA clash.
Can I
another quality match.
Can I give my hot take?
Go on.
Is it Cloud9 is good?
Oh God, no. No, it's that series is the only game that Liquid will win.
Oh, I like that one. I like that one.
Ooh.
That's good. That's a good take. It's a good hot take. I don't know if it's a good take, but it's... I like it because it's entirely conceivable.
Yeah.
I'm not high on this Liquid team at all. Like, people have been speaking for probably 2 months, 3 months now about like Ultimate's form dipping and like, oh, he's having all these negative ratings all the time. Then he goes to this RMR, plays well, and everyone's like, fucking hell, Ultimate's back. No, he's just playing tier 2 shitters again. Like, let's be realistic here.
I will say, look at the spread in the opening stage. It's not the best.
That's fine. But
like, he's gonna play like Rare Atom at some point.
He's gonna struggle again.
Isn't Cloud9 what you would generally deem a tier 2 shitter?
Yes.
They're like a tier 2 like decent team, and that's tier 2 shitters.
But that's why they'll win that game because he'll pop off, and then he'll go negative for the 3 games that they lose after that.
Is Ultimate even really the problem on this team?
No,
I'm asking that genuinely.
I actually don't think he's not a problem. I don't think he's the problem. I think the entire structure of the team is the problem. But I think if you were to break it down further, like it's this Liquid team isn't restricted to one problem. And Ultimate, in the long run, even if they were to fix certain structural things, would prove to be a problem. Because I don't think we'll ever see that like first month, 2 months Ultimate in tier 1 again.
You're a baseball guy, aren't you, Logan?
I am, yes.
Do you know about Jeff Francoeur?
I know the name. I can't tell you any more than that.
Okay, Jeff Francoeur is a guy who in his first month hit like 6 home runs, and he had the highest batting average of any rookie ever, and then he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and it was called The Natural, and then he was never good again.
Yes, I was aware of this, actually.
Just you know, we talk about Ultimate's first month being really good, and then... But Jeff Francoeur was like amazing for 1 month, and then he's been terrible ever since. Ultimate's not that bad, but
no, he's retired.
Yeah,
he no longer plays.
Yeah. But he was really bad. But he had this unbelievable rookie month.
I do agree though that this will be a Liquid win. I'm not willing to go anywhere close to as far as Sam on saying this is Liquid's only win, but I will say this is a Liquid win.
They're gonna play like FlyQuest or Rare Atom at some point. They're gonna get 2 wins, I think.
No, Liquid is the perfect 3-2 team in my head, or 2-3.
Complexity are the perfect. Complexity are always the 3-2 team. Even in the NA they feel like they should.
Let's take a break here for a second.
Sorry, go ahead. I was going to say.
No.
Oh, the most mental thing though about what you've just said is you've just said Liquid are a perfect 3-2 team. Look at this opening stage. Look at the teams in it. Well, That's how bad this Liquid team is.
Yeah.
Virtus Pro.
They weren't this bad at one point, I'm sure.
Okay, but if I read through this, Virtus Pro, Liquid, Complexity, Big, and Fnatic, and Furia are all 3-2-2-3 teams.
And the Mongols.
And the Mongols. Literally every high-ranked team here is a team that I have seen in the 2-2 brackets because they are mid.
Do you know what? I'm gonna go. Big are not a 3-2 team. Big either go out or they go like cleanly through. Like they'll either go 3-0 or they'll go out. Like
who do they play first?
Big are not a 3-2 team.
Oh, they're going 3-0.
They play Passion UA.
Yeah, they're going 3-0.
Didn't they Did they play Passion UA?
They
to go through?
played
No, they
Passion
didn't. They
like
played
3 times this event already.
Yeah, they played.
they?
That was their 2-0
Yeah.
game in the RMR.
Oh, they did. Okay, yeah, they did play. Yeah, I thought it was.
They're going
They
3-0.
played
doubted
Passion to
myself.
get
I've
through.
seen enough.
Let's go.
You've seen one game and you're convinced.
They've got the last remaining shard of the Bad News Eagle Chaos Emerald. They are imbued with major magic.
All right.
Easiest 3-0 of your life.
Easiest 3-0 they've ever seen.
There you go. There's your pick'em. There's the pick'em prediction right there.
They beat Liquid, actually. I've decided
God.
they beat Liquid.
Yeah,
No,
that's
in the
their
1-0 game.
that's their 1-0 game.
They beat Liquid in the 2-0 set, causing Liquid to spiral down to
Into a
2-3.
See-
that is the other option.
I admire the optimism, but unfortunately, Liquid don't make it far enough to the 2-0 set. Sorry.
They surely at least
So,
win 2 games.
Looking at this very quickly, Liquid may play Fnatic in the second round, and we'll get to
alright,
Fnatic.
fine. They're losing that. Yeah, they are losing that. Yeah, that is true.
All right. Complexity FlyQuest.
Complexity
This
13-2 next.
God, it's the battle of mid.
I hate FlyQuest. I really
I
hate
hate
watching them because they never do anything. They're always like, they've had a close map against a good team and they lose, and it's like when Sprout were around. They just don't actually ever progress, except
do you know
Sprout
what
fucked
they're like?
off eventually.
I think I'd actually have a shred of respect for FlyQuest if they did something like Wildcard did. Like, boot Alistair, he's fucking rubbish. Boot Vexite,
Yeah.
he's shite and all. And just get 2 European pricks. Like, I'm
Yeah, because
sick of
Ings
this
is like
whole...
legitimately really good.
We've got to be Australian. No, you don't. No, you don't. Just...
I actually no. I'm gonna stick on the Australian thing. I think that they should do what the Mongols did, because the Mongols have made constant roster churn with the bottom half of their roster to figure out and get the best moves at every possibility. When was the last time FlyQuest made a move other than signing Dexter?
Yeah, it was to sign Vexite, I think.
But there's actually
then you have to
talented
find
players
other
in
good
Mongolia.
players. Well,
we didn't think there were talented players in Mongolia, and then suddenly Mongols just keep getting more and more players better.
I've never watched any other players in Mongolia. I've watched other players in Australia, and they are gash.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I think
we
it's-
didn't think there were
They
talented
are.
players in Mongolia. We know there aren't talented players in Australia.
I don't know.
I'd rather take a random Mongolian than sign a player from Order. I'm being 100%. And I don't even mean a random Mongolian Counter-Strike player. I mean, like, just a Mongolian guy. Just sign a guy. Bring back Urkas. I do not care.
Oh God,
What's he
I
doing now?
agree, though. Like, he's a coach, I think.
Wow.
we
if-
don't need to dive into
Like, Inns deserves to be on a team that is doing something more than what FlyQuest is doing.
Wait,
Because
wait.
Inns is
Urkas is
actually good.
FlyQuest's coach. Bring him in.
Yeah, I knew he was a coach somewhere. Sub him in.
You can't write that shit. You can't write
He,
that.
he
I knew
would
he was
be
a coach
better than
somewhere.
half the team. Like,
Inns is
Yo.
like legitimately good.
All right, hear me out. Get rid of Dexter, sign Bentet, bring in Exogen, keep Inns, make the actual Oceania super team. I've solved it.
I'm in.
No, it is just kick Alistair and sign an AWPer. That's how you get better. But then the problem is you've then got Dexter with an AWPer, and Dexter has no idea what to do with an AWPer. Dexter should AWP. Unironically, Dexter should AWP.
Oh God, no, we're not going.
No,
this.
no.
Moving on.
No, I'm sorry, I've seen the vision. Don't comment on this at all because it doesn't need to be commented on. Waro 2K, move on.
Yes!
Oh, God.
Yes! I love
God.
Waro 2K. Waro
Alright.
2K is legitimately so good as well.
We talked
I
about
actually love him.
we talked about Big Passion. I do want to have one quick
Big
note
passion.
here. Congratulations to Passion UA for making the major. Mad respect.
The video of like Fia celebrating and like punching his mate in the head is so good. It's so good.
I loved the video during the RMR. The coach celebrating for half a second in between rounds when a player turns around and is like excited, and the TO just going, "No, can't do that. Can't fucking do that."
What a
Yeah,
shit
brilliant.
rule.
A team called Passion and they're not even allowed to celebrate.
Yeah, really. That is a truly shit rule.
But yeah, Fia just standing up, punching his mate in celebration. probably the last great major moment before it becomes all Valve ranking systems.
Yeah.
Sadly, they will be going 0-3.
Yeah,
Unlucky.
They play big
They'll
in the
go-
first round. That's just how it works.
They'll go 1-3 and beat like Rare Atom or something. But
Fnatic wildcard, I actually think is kind of interesting.
it is because wildcard are like actually half decent.
And Fnatic are a weird team.
I think Fnatic win in overtime.
Yeah, I see that.
I can
see that version.
Fnatic winning in overtime, but Fnatic is a really weird team. Like, I don't.
They
know
are,
how-
but they will win eventually. Like
I can trust Fnatic as far as I can throw Blame F, and I'm not a very
you
strong
can't
guy.
trust Blame effort. Yeah.
Like,
I mean, the thing is, like, when you look at like the key matchups, like Nork versus Fozy, you're like, Nork was literally the guy keeping Fozy out of the NIP team at one point, I think. And it's like Nork is just better than him.
Well, and the fact
You
that
look at,
Fozy
like-
was rubbish at the time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but that's kind of the point. Like Nork
But-
is
but,
just
like-
better than him.
but he's not bad now. And
He's
the
like
rest
fine.
The rest of this wildcard team has bits and pieces that I see and understand.
Yeah.
I
The
think
problem is that a lot of them. Go on.
I think that match probably comes down to Nork and Fozy both top fragging, and whichever one ends up killing the other in clutch situations more. Like, I think it will just be those two popping off, and it's just whichever one ends up doing better. But I think it'll probably be Fnatic that wins.
My worry is that Wildcard's best player really at the RMRs and recently has been Sonic, and I just don't see a world where Sonic in late 2024 is killing players on a team like Fnatic.
I don't
It
know.
just doesn't happen.
I don't know how to explain it, but every second I look at this matchup, all I can think is we're gonna get Stanislaw with 23 kills and nobody else with any frags, and they're gonna lose the game 13-7.
Yeah, I don't even hate
I think
that.
I'd feel a lot of joy at that, actually.
I cannot explain why that's what I think, but that is.
I
I
think-
see the scoreboard
I think
in my head.
I think Fnatic win, and I think it will look shaky for a bit, but then like they'll just stabilize and win.
I think
Their
Fnatic
players are
win.
just too seasoned to lose to this team, unfortunately.
I think Fnatic win, but this is the best quality game we have looked at so far.
I think it's the most
So it's
50-50.
not entirely unfair. I think Fury at Gamer Legion is pure
I think that's-
50-50 as you'll ever see.
Yeah, I just think it's a bad quality game.
No, Fury Gamer Legion's like 90-10, you're just not sure which way it goes. Whereas this one actually is
Yeah.
50-50.
Fine. I do think 90-10 if you don't know which way it goes is a 50-50.
No,
but fine.
you're just looking at it from the wrong angle.
You're
Hang on.
90% certain that 50% that one of these teams will win the game. There is a 10% chance that this game goes on through 3 days.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hopefully it lasts a few hours and I can watch the rest of the major.
That would be nice.
All right, Mongols versus Rare Atom.
Mongols win.
I need a moment
Yeah.
to bitch here. We haven't talked about it in the rest of these matchups because it hasn't really taken precedence other than Big against Passion. With only 3 teams from Asia, they should legally not be allowed to face in the first round.
No. Them facing in the first round is fine because it means they won't face in the 2-2 game when they both get there.
You think Rare Atom's going to go 2-2?
I don't think. I know I think.
Sorry, you think Mongols are going to go 2-2?
Yeah.
They're
I
going-
love the Mongols. I just don't
They're
trust
going
them.
3-0.
No, I don't trust
Nah,
them.
they're going to make light work of it this time, I'm telling you.
No, they'll go 2-0 and then 2-2 and then 3-2.
No. Well, actually, no, they will now.
Mongols are a 3-2 team.
Because I've doubted them for so long. And now I've actually backed them. They're just going to, like, choke 2 games.
They're like legitimately good, but they just bottle it. They just
Yeah.
bottle it all the time. They're like the opposite of MIBR, who are actually bad and somehow don't bottle it, and then they bottle it. MIBR like fluked their way into like top 8 or like top 16s, and then they're just awful, and I hate them for it because I hate having to watch MIBR lose again.
Speaking of teams,
because I like watching Mongols lose in a close game because it's fun.
Speaking of teams we hate to watch, Pain Imperial is the last opener here. I refuse to comment on how this game will go because it doesn't matter.
One of them goes 3-2, the other one goes 2-3.
Look,
no, the other one goes 1-3.
No matter the result, of this game, they will both be 1-1 after round 2.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Fine. Whoever loses this wins the next game, and whoever wins it loses the next game.
And
they'll both be 1-1. And if they could play each other again, they would, because the gods hate me and want me to have to watch Pain Imperial.
And knowing the way this works, it will be the very last game on, so it'll be the game that you turn your TV on and it's the only one on to watch.
Thankfully, it's the first game of the last round, so the last game will be another Pain or Imperial game, won't it?
All right. I guess let's do it this way. 8 teams progress from this round. Let's start with Sam. Who's your 8 teams?
Somehow all 8 of them go 3-2.
You don't need to tell me if they're 3-0, 3-1, 3-2. 8 teams go through.
Furia.
Okay.
Complexity.
Bold decision to start.
Furia, Complexity, Big. Virtus Pro. That's 4. Mongols. 5. Pain. I've got 2 to play with. Gamer Legion and Fnatic. Yeah, there we go. I don't know if that's possible.
Thoughts here?
Big.
We won't know if it's possible until matches actually start going. It's next to impossible to determine which teams are eligible to actually move on based on matchups. But
Big.
Complexity.
Fnatic, Wildcard, Mongols, Gamer Legion, Virtus Pro, MIBR.
All right.
There's always a bazillion teams.
I have a very different read. Liquid, Cloud9, Complexity, Big, Pain, MIBR, Rare Atom, Gamer Legion.
What?
I'm all over the place.
Have you picked the bottom 8?
No, I have not. I just picked a lot of teams from that side of the bracket.
Do you know what though? I'd be willing to swap Gamer Legion for Cloud9 in my list. I do have a slight feeling about Cloud9 that I don't like.
I think Cloud9 are sneakily better than basically all of us have said.
Yeah.
I don't think...
Really,
for instance,
I couldn't find a spot for them, but I think they...
I need to put a note here. I don't think they're good. For what it's worth, I don't think most of the teams here are good. So...
Yeah.
They just need to be better than the other teams here.
I need to look, because it feels like it. Is this just a terrible opening stage?
Yeah, it's really bad.
It's not ideal.
I don't think we didn't talk about this because it happened while we were in between episodes, but Valve changing the rules with they originally had the rules, then Perfect World came out and said that they weren't playing by the rules, they were playing by something else.
Yeah.
And Valve signed on to it and we're okay with it, and now we're back to the other.
It kind of messed things up, yeah.
Yeah.
We would have had a more interesting opening stage. Then, we'd have a more interesting opening stage if the RMRs were more open in terms of the qualifiers as well, in my eyes, because I just don't want to watch MIBR. That's what most of my Counter-Strike philosophy comes down to. Is I don't want to watch MIBR at every event. We might as well rotate them out for another bad team.
Why can't we get Legacy instead of MIBR?
Well, I'd rather watch Sangal than MIBR, because at least I haven't seen them at every event be rubbish. I'm just sick of watching fucking MIBR.
For what it's worth, I'm also fucking sick of the fact that it's 7 teams from each region or each RMR.
Yeah.
Except for Europe too. Give me the 8th team.
I would rather have Falcons here than like MIBR. At least you can hate watch Falcons. I don't care about most of these teams. It's kind of the problem. I want to see Passion do well. I kind of want Wildcard to do well. I want Mongols and Rare Atom to do well. But other than that, it's kind of soulless.
I'd rather have fucking NIP here than half these teams. And
No,
I fucking hate NIP.
Yeah, no, don't.
But,
No, I won't go that far.
Look, any major without either Jerry or Bad News Eagles is not a major.
It doesn't count.
It doesn't count. Majors without Jerry are not canon.
I miss Jerry.
Yeah.
I really miss Jerry.
Is Jerry on the team right now?
Yeah, but it's like the worst team you've ever seen.
He's benched on Paravision. He's not on a team.
Oh, okay.
He's that stupid fucking Paravision team with Keekert and Patsy and Art Frost.
Yeah, I'd rather see that team here than most of
agree.
these. I'm just not interested. Like that's what I mean. Like it's kind of very sterile when you go off ranking because you just get the same teams we've seen at other events who we know can't beat any of the good teams. Like, what has changed from last month for Pain?
The problem is the only benefit, I guess, is sitting in the Legend stage. We do have Heroic and 3D Max there, neither of which I would have really expected there.
I think Heroic might be the 5th best team in the world.
What the fuck are you on?
What the fuck?
What drugs are you on, man?
Yeah, I'm sticking by it.
Oh, fucking hell, hang on, he might be right.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Oh, fuck.
If you could... Alright, they're at least 6th.
The problem here is there's a lot
They're at least 6th.
There's a lot of absolute dog shit teams right
now.
now.
Heroic are at like 5th or 6th in the world, and quite comfortably in my eyes.
Fucking hell.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, like...
No, because I can't trust any team. No, they're 6th. They're 1000% 6th. I cannot trust
They
any
might
team
be better. They honestly, right now, might be better than Spirit, which would put them 5th.
I was going to ask whether it was Spirit or Mouse you were knocking out.
I think Spirit. FaZe are not. FaZe weren't. They were never.
Yeah,
in my
FaZe
top
weren't
five.
in
the
conversation.
FaZe makes them 6th.
FaZe are genuinely like 11th. They're not even good. They're terrible. Every time I watch FaZe, I just think this team is actually just bad. I don't know how. At some point, FaZe are going to just crash and burn, and it's coming. I'm sure of it. They're so dodgy right now.
They're a team.
I don't know what to say about this shit.
Like this major, when you're talking about the crash and burn, they either go 0-3 or 3-0. Like FaZe are.
I
so
think they're
close to blowing up.
I don't think they get through to playoffs. FaZe. That's
no.
I don't know if that's a hot take, but I don't think they get through to playoffs.
I think in our podcast and people that listen, that's not a particularly hot take from us. But if
I've said it for a few
doesn't
weeks.
Listen here, listen today. That would be a particularly hot take.
That has made me think of something though. Is there any team from this opening stage you think will be in the playoffs?
Yes.
Yeah, they have to because FaZe aren't going to. And there has to be 8 teams in the
by
playoffs.
By definition, he's right.
But if you were gonna
big, I'm on the big train. I'm all in.
I could see Virtus Pro like sneaking by in.
I can see Mongols sneaking in as well. I think that's.
I don't know if Mongols get out of this fucking stage.
No, I don't.
That if they can get out of this stage, they could also get to playoffs.
I agree with
honest
those.
to God, believe that Mongols could be 3-0 here. They could be 0-3 here, and then that exact same theory applies in the next stage.
I also don't think it's completely unreasonable, and stick with me here, for Complexity to go 3-2 and then 3-2 again. Complexity just sort of shithouse wins. They just shithouse wins.
Certainly say that Complexity will be in every 2-2 game that they could be in.
I'm willing to certainly say that they might.
I think Complexity live in the 2-2 games. I won't say they thrive in them. I will not say they fail in them, but they live in 2-2 games.
Like I think there's a world where Complexity make playoffs of this major, and I sort of hope they do because it will delude them into not ever changing again, and then they'll just maintain mediocrity.
It not only will it delude them into not changing, it'll be one of the greatest flukes of all time.
I don't know about that. Like outside of the top 4,
they are rubbish. It would be if they
outside. Yeah, but like outside of the top 4, Like, we were just discussing whether Heroic are the 5th or the 6th best team in the world. Like, being 7th or 8th in the world isn't a fluke. It's like...
I think that's a question that we can talk about, right? Is this the weakest major there has ever been overall?
No, but it's not the strongest either.
It feels top 2 weak to me.
It's top heavy, I think, is what it is. It's very top heavy.
I think that the top 6 teams or so are very good, and most can compete for a title. And actually, 5 of those 6 could compete for a title, and Maus could compete for a title if it was in Malta. But I think past that point...
I don't even think Spirit can compete. I think, like, Na'Vi are really, really good. Vitality are really good. And G2...
can be good theoretically?
G2 are really good in inverted commas.
The RMR has me worried about G2. Before the RMR...
You just started being worried about them?
No, but okay, so yes, but before the RMR, I thought G2 would win the major. And then during the RMR, I'm like, oh, okay, Falcons are just tapping up Munacy as well, and he doesn't know how to handle that. And now I'm quite concerned for them. Because I would honestly like them to win this major, because I think it would be quite funny for them to win big with G2 in their last event, and then Falcons just be shit for another year. Like, that would bring me a degree of joy.
The problem is, I really want Monacy and Malbs to win a major, but I really don't want Nico to win a major. Like, I think it's too funny for Nico to retire never winning a major. I know that is a really, really like hater thing to say, and
I'm here for it. But there's a real world here where it could be a G2 final and they lose in the final. A fucking game.
Oh, I like that. I like that one. I do like that one.
Nico losing in finals for what, the 3rd time?
The thing is, if G2 win the final, I get to argue with Harry again about how good Snacks is.
No, this is bad.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
we've gone to a bad place.
I already told him that, you know, Dupree's the best player in the world, and then he's best player of all time. Every team that's kicked, you know, Vitality kicked Dupree, haven't won a major since. Australis kicked Dupree, haven't been to a major since. You know.
Wait, so you telling me
Falcons they signed Dupree, didn't make a major. I mean, it's just, you know, what can you do?
You telling me that Falcons kicked Dupree and now they never play another Counter-Strike game again?
Do they? Well, I mean, maybe Falcons will book the trend. Maybe Falcons will book the trend of kicking Dupree and finally winning a major, but nobody else does.
That would be the most cursed outcome. All right, let's end it here because we could fucking sit here for another 2 hours. The major starts this coming weekend. We will be back again on Tuesday. You can find us on Twitter at TLDR, at Logan Rampup, at AZSkin, at AN1MO with a 1.
With a CS2.
AN1MO
and there is a 1 in it, yeah.
Oh, CS2.
I believe it's CS2. I might be lying.
It'll be in the
description.
It doesn't matter. Just go click on it there. Don't listen to me spell. This episode was produced by James Serpa, edited by Mac, and we will be back next week.
Bye.